Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Oluwaseun. Welcome to another series of our strategy review and training section. So today we'll be discussing on Bofad Fadinvest strategies report. Okay, so there's a report we call the strategies report. So does this report, what do we use this report for? Okay, so this report helps to identify the market trend, the direction of the market, and also gives us some prices that we can use to be able to control the market movement. Okay. So if the current price gets within the range, or it helps to identify within a specific position, it helps us to know if the market is buying or the market is selling. Okay. So, but for this report, all we just need to do is to go and copy the highest price and lowest price over a period of time. So most information for this report usually comes from the new Bofad uh, template, which I have discussed earlier. So that's why I am treating this late, late on. Okay. So the information from the new Bofad is used and updated on this report, and that is where we will now be able to get some additional information to be used to make decisions from this report. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we'll be able to go through the report as well. Okay. Yeah. So, um, okay. So here, yes. So as you can see here, this is the Bofat Strategies report. Okay. So we have what we call the gap ranking report, the market move control report, and the new risk analysis report, which also has so many informations within the template. Okay, so what happens? So this is the starting point. So all we just need to do here is just to copy and paste at the intervals of these dates. Copy and paste the high price and the low price on the report. So here, the high price and the low price from um, from the Bofad monthly. Okay, so this is the Bofad monthly. So you can see. So all we just need to do is copy and paste these reports on that template. Okay, so like for example, look at this. So for example, now let's look at. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean according to this. All it just means that you need to copy it one after the other. So like look at this now. This is I can copy here now like this, and then go to the page. You can see I can paste here. So it doesn't matter as far as what it means is that this report is coming after this. This one is coming after this, like that. Okay, so that's all that matters. That's all that it means. Okay. So, but then it can also do because I think what happened is this report currently um started. Okay, so let me check something so that we probably will just go through it together now. Okay, perfect. So 4.7, I think that we had almost 5 point something in March. So let me open the March template to see what we had as at the end of March. Okay, so that will help us better. So that's strategies report. Okay. So we are going to look at March 2026. So March 2026, and then we're going to look at, sorry, let's just wait a bit. Oh, so we're looking at March 2026, and we are looking at the final for the strategies report. Perfect. So I think the last report, sorry for that, interlude. Okay. Yeah. So dates. Okay, so continue. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, yeah, I know something was wrong. Okay, so I didn't update. Let me check if I updated this. Okay, so I didn't update the starting point for because I think I did this after it was done. Okay, so after the end of, so I'll have to update it here. So yeah, so like March. So March, yeah. So this is the different gaps every month. Okay. So for example, now in April so far, this is our gap in April so far. So I'm going to come here and paste here. Now you see? So that's the difference between our high and low. Okay. So same thing for the gap ranking. So I'm going to check the distance between our high and low, highest and lowest for the month so far. So again, we come there and we paste. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So that is so this is the distance every month. So in January, in February, in March, and April. That's what we have to date. Okay. So and then we also have so like I showed you earlier. So I just need to copy the I. Did I copy for this? Oh, I didn't copy for, so I have to redo that. Okay. So let me copy for the last updates as well for the second part. Okay, so I made a mistake. I didn't copy that before. So let's see because it might change. Okay. Okay, I don't think it really changed, but let me just recopy this form. Yeah. So this also gives us, helps us to know our movements and, so you can see so far, this month is, the market has not moved. Today is just the 4th of the month. So the month is just starting. So, but one thing that is sure is that the market move of the month will not stop here. So the market is likely to see move, go further than this. So, but where it's going to go further is where we don't know, whether it's going to go further upwards or it's going to go further downwards. And that is why all these strategies that we're trying to prepare, why it is important. So that's why all the ideas is important because knowing the direction will help us to take correct decisions and we can be able to make profit. Okay. So like I told you earlier, you can see here, I already have a decision template. So all I need to do is after putting in, so this automatically updates itself in the last one. Okay. So all I just need is to do is just to paste, copy and paste this as figures naturally here based on the dates or the days I wish, and then also updates, you know, what's it called? Updates the current prices here. So I don't because I know, but let me put it here. So this is the current price. Okay. So all I just need to do is go to that. Bofad, like I said, my main report is from Bofad monthly. So look at here, this is where the current price is. I copy this and paste it there. Copy and paste, simple as ABC. And then go also to copy the second part as well. Current price, remember is the current price, copy. And go and paste there also in the right position. Yeah, you see. So you paste here as well. That's all. So now, even without doing anything, you can see predictions already on this template. It's giving us like this is a cell. Here it's giving us a cell here. You can see here this has buy cell and here is a buy. So which means the best decision for this for now is a buy. Okay. So you can see here again buy and sell. Here is sell. So it also means the best decision for now here is a sell. So you can see here this is buy, this is buy. You can see here this is sell, this is sell. You can see here this is sell, this is sell. You can see here this is buy, this is buy. This is sell, sell, sell and buy and sell. So which means for now is a sell, buy, buy. You can see this is sell and buy, but here is buy. So which means it's a buy move. Here also buy and sell, but we have a sell move here. Here also we have buy and sell, but it's a buy move here. So we have buy here, we have buy here, we have buy, you can see. So just looking at this, here we have buy and sell, but it's buy here, we have sell, we have sell, we have buy, we have buy. So just looking at this, we already know the direction of the market. Okay, so all we just need to do now is identify the entry points of those decisions. So when you are selling, for example, we want to sell from the top downwards. When we are buying, we want to buy as much as possible from the bottom upwards. So, and the earlier we identify this entry point and these decisions, the better for us. So the fact that this one is a sell now does not mean that it cannot change to a buy in the future. So how do we know if it's going to change to a buy? Okay. For it to change to a buy, we need to have our control prices. And that is why we have these two prices here. We have this AV2 prices, okay? And we also have the AV1 prices, okay? So if you look at AUDJPY, for example, here we have 109.6 here, and we have 110.05 here. So what that means is that we have two prices. So because the market is a sell, we expect the prices to be below these two positions as much as possible, especially the lower side. So the low price should be below the lowest of these two, which is 109.6. So if the low price should go above 109.6, then what it means is that the market is not selling again. The market is changing to a buy. Okay, and then we'll be able to take a buy decision. So let me show you an example of that. Okay, so where do we get the information to use? We are going to go to the scrapping report. So remember I told you that the scrapping report is updated daily. So let me show you where we get that information from the scrapping report. So look at AUDJPY. You can see that on Friday, like I told you, like we did together, our low price is 109.7 and our high price is 110.4. So you can see that our low of 109.7 is higher than our low here of 109.6. So judging from this information, this market is now buying. Okay. Even though it's currently a sell now, but this market has now started buying. So by the end of the month, it's likely that this no action that is here will change to a buy, just like AUD/USD. So ability to identify the entry points, and then if it's going to be a sell, if it's going to be a sell continuously, then it means that the high price will have to be below the 110.05. But here you can see that our high price is 110.4, which is above. Okay. So for now, this is a buy. So if our high comes below 110, as indicated here, 110.05, then, or the higher of these two, then it means the market is selling. So the high price must be below the higher of these two figures. Okay. That is how we know the direction on the long run. So, and the earlier we identify that direction, the better for us, so that we'll be able to get the best result from the market as quickly and as much as possible. So just like you can see, the market distance has not moved much, like I showed you earlier. Yeah. So for example, look at AUD/JPY, the market is just 1.8. So far before the lowest is 4.7. Can you see that? So this can still move as high as 3 more points prices above. So even if you have lost in the 1.8, you can still make profit from the remaining three. And that is what you want to achieve. Okay. So look at this just 0.014. The lowest we have after that is 0.026. So we still have about 0.012 minimum, you know. So that is the idea. Okay. So we can get as much. What we just need to do is identify. So like for here now, AJPY, you can see that it has already a buy and sell. Okay. So, but then also according to this rule, this we want these two positions to be the same. But if this is plain like this, then we follow the rule on the right side. So for example, now AUD/JPY, like I told you, is sell and buy. So, but from what we've seen now, is likely to be a buy, is going to a buy. For AUD/USD is a sell for now, according to this report currently, but then like we saw, it has changed to a buy before. So it depends on the current price. So based on these updates, okay. So these updates also helps us to identify key entry points and key exit points. Okay. So what this means actually is this. So because if you look at the lowest price for this now, you see 108.7. And look at the lowest price at the beginning, 109.6. Can you see that? So just like we just analyzed now, the current low is already above 109.6. So this is more accurate as the buy. Okay. But if not, well, you can see our starting high is 110.5 and our current high is still 110.5. So for this to go for a buy at the end of the day, then it means our high is going to change from 110.5 to 111 or 112 or 113 or 115. Okay, so it means the high is still moving further. So that is why this is still like this. Okay. So that's how we'll be able to identify. And also here, for example, we have a minimum distance that we call a risk. So the risk is used to identify when the market should blow out. Okay. So after the gap distance of the risk, then the market should be on the full swing to that direction. So for example, now our lowest price is 108.7. We have our risk at 1.35. So 1.35 plus 108.7, that is 110.5. Okay. So once the current price goes above 110.5, then what you are trying to say is that this should go as a buy on the long run. And then we take our backup sell as 108.7 should in case the market wants to fall backwards. So that is what this is going to help us to achieve effectively. Okay, so all this is all used to help us to predict the market direction accurately and know when to enter the market and when to exit the market. So if you look at it for most of the current gap, they are already more than the risk. So immediately they pass the risk, then the earlier they pass the risk, then the better and the quickly we take the control positions as much as possible. Okay, so you can see here some of them, like this is buy, this is buy, this is sell, this is buy, this is buy, this is buy. So once these two are in the same position, then it means, but look at the buy here now. So what does this mean? Our buy initially I was 22,300, but now it has gone to 23,398. Okay. So if the market should fall down below, in that case, if the 23,398 does not change again in the next 2 days, or after 2 or 3 days that it has reached that point, then it's likely that the market is not going high again. So what it means is that we need to take and start planning a decision for a sell. Okay. So timing is very, very key. So the ability to identify the timing of when the market price or the market position movement becomes stale and doesn't change again. So once it doesn't change again, then we identify that and then we know what action to take according to our report. So at the end of the day, is either the high price stops changing first or the low price stops changing first. But either way, both sides, one of them will stop changing first. So for example, look at here. Currently, it is the high price that has stopped changing. For AUDJPY, if you see that the high price changed and the low prices changed. But one of them must change first. So if you want to look at the one that changed first, let's look at it, the history. So here we have 0.691, 0.685. Here we have 0.691, 0.684. So you can see that 0.684 is lower than 0.685. So in this instance, the low change first coming down. Then after coming down, it now went up back to 0.685, back to 0.691, and then back to 0.697. So the ability to identify, so you can see here, 0.691 to 0.683, and then it stopped at 0.683 and went to 0.697. So that is how best we'll be able to identify those moves as quickly as possible and take action effectively. Okay. So that is how we are able to identify our move in this market, and it also helps us to take our decision correctly. So for this analysis, actually, there are still some updates. So like, for example, based on what I did before, so I'm supposed to do change, um, oh, sorry, so some of the updates, okay. So like this now, it wasn't updated before. I used the old distance. So which means here, the actual distance for March is this, what I'm about to paste now. Okay. And then also for March here, the actual is what I'm going to paste now. Okay. So this also because of um getting the average. So in most cases, what we do is that we now have to copy this also to enable us get the average correctly. So we now have to go back to March. Okay. So March Bofad monthly, because that is where we get our average prices. So we need to copy. Yep, so sorry. That click strategies. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. Okay, so March we're supposed to open the Bofad monthly. Okay. So once we get that, we'll now be able to update our reports accurately and adequately. Wow. Seems it has been. Oh my God. I've saved it wrongly. I've saved it wrongly. I saved strategies as Bofad monthly. So I think where can I get the update report? I hope I saved it. So I think the last update report um will be um let me see the last update report. So uh, we have another source of backup. So that's why most times I have different reports, so that when one report fails, then we can also have another backup as a worst case scenario. Okay. So um so currently new Buford monthly. So we're going to look at the last day. That's the last day of March. Okay. So which is March 31. So we are going to open it and receive it. So we open the last day of March and then we'll be able to receive it as well. Okay. So March 31. So let's open March 31. Remember, it's Buford monthly that we are trying to. Mm. So the only thing is that this does not include everything, okay? But then you should be able to give us Um, so what we're trying to get actually, let me see, what are we trying to get initially? Okay, so we want to get the average. So I need to save this back. So I need to save it back as Bofad monthly. So, so I need to save it as, sorry, um, yeah, so I need to save it as, let me save it as F3 just to cover up. So all I'm just trying to do is, yeah, so just get that. So basically what I'm trying to do initially is to get the average. So, and the average is obtained from this position. Okay. So like I showed you earlier, you can see this is match. So I need to re-update that with the correct data. Okay. So for match, so this will now be our average on that one. Okay. So for the second one as well, for match, so this is the actual. So copy that. And we get, and then we get the average from this part. Copy and paste there. Okay. So by the time we are doing our, sorry, then copy it from the beginning. So 0.03. Yes, perfect. So after getting this, just sort it out. Okay. So to make things easier for us, just sort it out according to according to their size. Okay. So from the lowest, we saw these three from lowest to the highest. So sorry for the time wasted, but just also to enlighten you for you to see how the system works. Okay. Yeah, to see how the system works. So how we are arrive at the figures that we put on the templates. Okay. So, mhm. Okay, so that's perfected for this. And then for the gap ranking as well, let's confirm that everything is serial. 552441. Okay, so for this, yes, so everything is sorted now. So you can see from the lowest to the highest, the hierarchy is perfect. So that's that. Okay, so let me not bore you too much. Yeah, so at the end of the day, like I told you, we have so many informations on this report. So you may need to watch it more than once, twice, three times to get. Okay. So when we get this, okay, I'm also going to do some corrections now that you can see. So we always update with a special report, which I copy and paste. So just like I said, that will update. So I'm copying this afresh. Okay. So it's starting from 31st. So currently, so you can see, it depends. It's not covered, it has to be every day. Okay. So can be once in 2 days, in 3 days, but everything changes at, it's just for us to predict and identify. So for today's third, okay, so I'm changing. So this is where we obtain the information. We copy here. You can see the data is just there. So it's just to copy and paste because it's being updated at every point in time. So you see, then we also have another report, call it AB, AB2. From here, we copy it from here. So you copy it from there and go and paste it here. So for 3, okay. So this is for 30, 31, first, second, third, okay. So same thing here again, like I showed you earlier, okay. So I'm going to copy from 30. So you can see that this is a real analysis full-time job you consider, but it's very, very interesting if it gets. So again, like I said, so I'm going to get the update. So this is where the update information is. You see, so I'm going to copy that and go up, paste there for the third. Now this third, see, I delete what is here, and then I go again to the AB2. You can see the AB2 here. I copy, and I paste. Oh, I missed it. So I didn't get for the second. So I need to go and get the report for the second. Okay. So I need to get the report for the second. Although I don't think there's much changes. So let me just paste the same as second, but I don't think there's much change on it actually. You can see 59.35.35. So most times there is not much change except it's the high price goes up or the low price comes down. So if both sides didn't change, then the market positions remains the same. Okay, that's how it works. Okay. Okay. So that's all. So you can see that. So what it does, as you can see here, it gives us also here an idea of when to enter the market as a buy or when to enter the market as a sell. When to enter the market as a buy and when to enter the market as a sell. Okay. So that is how this information works out on the long run. So we're able to see the best, and then at the end of the day, the market, the actual high and low will come to one side of the market. So even despite the fact that, for example, now at the beginning, now this is 110.05 and 109.15. We expect our low to be above 109.15 and our high to be above 110.05. So as far as these two conditions are met, then this market is a buy. So, but if the low comes below the highest of the two, then it becomes a sell. Okay. So that is how we are able to get that on this. And then for the market moves also, so we have the one for the month, current month alone, and we have the one for the previous for monthly comparison. So the top side is for the daily. So this is our AB1 and this is our AB2. So when we compare the AB2 to AB1, it tells us whether the market is buying or selling. So the ones in red means the market is in a sell position, but just like showed you earlier, if it goes above 110.05, then it's going to change to a buy. Okay, and then you can the current price now is 109.8. So if the high price, if the current price goes above 110.05 and stays above it, then it's going to be a buy and it's going to push this from 109.6 upwards, because as the market's high price goes up, this also will be growing up along with it. Okay, so you can see here this has changed um to a green because it's higher than 0.688. Okay, so this also has changed to a green. You can see that this also has changed to a green. So you compare it with the previous. Mhm. Okay, perfect. So this is for the month. Okay, so we now copy it. Okay, and compare it to the previous month as well, which is here. Okay, so to identify if it's, so you can see here, so this one also changes 8787, 1.83. This will be a green. This will be red, a red, okay. This will be green, a red, a red, a red. So for the months, some of them still remains the same, but then when we compare to the previous month, it's a different direction. Okay. So is that direction that we actually need that is key for us. Okay. So I say that this is higher than this, so it's an upwards move. Okay, this also is an upward move. You see, this also 159 is an upward move. 64, no, no, 21.3 upward move. You see, only 3.55 upward move. So that's all. Okay. So we now copy this again. So this is our current monthly updates. Okay. So here on the right side, we have the updates January, February, March. We're going to copy that here and April. So just like I told you earlier, this is you can use so many information to identify the trend. So now our peak is at 111.2. Okay. So we expect the highest price for the rest of the year to be below 11.2. So once the highest price is below 111.2 for the rest of the year, then it's going to be a sell. So as far as it goes up, it's going to be a buy. If it comes down, it's going to be a sell. Same thing here, the high price is 0.705. If the high price remains below, it's going to be a sell. If it goes above, it's going to be a buy. For Euro AUD, as far as the low price is above 1.649, it's a buy. But if it comes below, it's going to be a sell. Okay. So that is how we'll be able to identify and get over these positions as much as possible. Okay. So that's how we're going to get. So I think okay, so let me correct this. Let me confirm that is actually the correct version. Okay, so I need to change it here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. So that's the trend. So you can see here from 4693 to 499.5 came down to 474610. Okay, so this range, once the price goes above, it becomes a buy. If it goes below, it becomes a sell. So through these moves, you'll be able to identify when the market is changing trend. And finally, for the long term, so you can see it oil from 58 to 63 to 88 to 98. So when oil gets to the peak, it falls and then it moves from 98 downwards. Okay, so that's how we'll be able to follow the trend. So you can see for GBP, it came down 1.905 is now at 1.923. So once the low does not go below 1.905, then it's going to start the buy for the rest of the year. So thank you very much. It's really nice having you around to um to discuss and I share my experience and my strategies with you concerning this strategy report. There's a lot of information that is on all the templates that helps to identify and project and predict accurately the market direction. So I remain yours and only Oluwase Ferrari. So join me in my send me an email, a chat on fadinvest@yahoo.ie, and then you can also be among our students so that we can be able to work together to get the best of the market in this year, 2026. It's never too late to learn something new. Thank you very much. I remain yours, Oluwaseyi Falabi. Have a great time ahead. Bye. Cheers.